Chief Rabbi, Your Excellency Ambassador Hotoveli, Madam Mayor, Dayanim, Rabbanim, Lords and Ladies, Chaverim of Bnei Akiva. Each year, we stand here at the juncture between Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut, attempting to wrap our heads around the conflicting emotions of these two highly significant days in our calendar. Never have we felt the contrast so greatly. For the first time ever, Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut are occurring during a time of war, at a time when we are all sharply feeling the pain of lost loved ones, of our hostages, of our brothers and sisters on the front lines, of those thousands who still have no home, and of the ongoing uncertainty. As Am Yisrael, we are not strangers to darkness or to suffering, nor are we strangers to celebrating during times of tragedy. Tonight, as we move into Yom HaAtzmaut, it is different. We feel different, and we will celebrate differently. But the one thing we will not do, the one thing the Jewish people has never done, is despair. At a time when we are tiring, when the unity we experienced post-October 7th is regrettably and perhaps inevitably beginning to wane, when situations on university campuses in the diaspora, including here in the UK, are worsening daily, when the challenges seem to increase rather than diminish, how have we prevented this word, despair, from becoming a part of the Jewish lexicon? Despair is defined as a loss of hope, a feeling that occurs when it seems as though there is nothing that can be done. But Am Yisrael has an incredible power. We know, however big or small, there is always something that can be done, that must be done. We are a people of action, and action staves off despair. Whether it was Nachshon ben Aminadav taking action and stepping forward at the Yom Suf, the Maccabees fighting against the masses to reclaim the Beit HaMikdash, or the young Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto taking action and revolting against the Nazis, we, the Jewish people, do not despair. Moving forward and taking action in seemingly impossible situations is not easy. It is not simple. And indeed, following the horrific and barbaric acts of October the 7th and everything we have experienced since, getting up, remaining active, and fighting back has demanded incredible resilience. The day after Simchat Torah, I sat in the Bayit trying to figure out what response the world needed from Bnei Akiva in order to rise from the depths of despair. I did not need to worry. I received phone call after phone call, message after message from Bnei Akiva Chanachim and Madrachim ready to take action. Individuals constantly calling to ask, what could they do? Chanachim were asking to set up learning and Tehillim initiatives. Sviva Madrachim brought our youth together to write to soldiers. Chaverim on their gap years spent hours volunteering across the country. Just 2 days after the horrific events of Simchat Torah, Bnei Akiva Bogrim organized an incredible evening of learning with keynote speakers and tefillot involving over 200 young people from youth groups across the community. I am immensely proud that community organizations across the UK and Israel picked up the phone to Bnei Akiva for help because they knew Bnei Akiva Chaverim would be active. When we learned about the evacuation of the Bnei Akiva Kibbutz, Alumim, to Netanya, we launched an appeal raising over £13,000 in just a few days, buying not only essentials, but games and toys for the young children who'd had their whole lives uprooted. And when we discovered that our Bogrim serving in the IDF were in need of more sets of tzitzit to wear into battle, Bogrim in the UK and Israel set about tying them to be sent along with letters and videos of our support and thanks. Why do we act like this? Why is action in the face of despair, such a Jewish trait. In Parshat Vayelech, at the end of Moshe Rabbeinu's life, he relays Hashem's final mitzvah to the people, saying, "Va'ata kitvu lachem et hashira hazot, v'lamda et bnei Yisrael, sima befihem lama'an tehiyeh li hashira hazot, la'ad b'bnei Yisrael." So now write down this song and teach it to the children of Israel. Place it in their mouths, that this song may be my witness against them. At face value, this pasuk is a command to write out the song that Moshe then sings in Parshat Ha'azinu. However, the Gemara in Sanhedrin understands this a little differently. It sees Hashira Hazot, this song, as referring to the Torah as a whole. Indeed, the Minchat Chinuch records the mitzvah to actively involve oneself in writing a Torah scroll as the 613th mitzvah. Full appreciation of this Gemara requires a deeper realization. Moshe Rabbeinu's final message to the people of Israel is essentially this: I have done my bit. I have written my Torah, and now you need to take it and make it your own. It is simply not enough for each generation to passively receive and inherit the Torah. We must take it for ourselves. We must make it part of our present and future. In Hebrew, there are two words for inheritance, nachala and morasha. Nachala, from the word nachal, is a noun meaning river or stream. A river flows naturally downhill, requiring no effort or additional input. But the Torah and Eretz Yisrael are both described as a morasha. A morasha is different. It is a verb, an action, not just something that happens to you, that is given to you. A morasha is not just an inheritance, but a legacy as well. And this has always been the relationship between the Jewish people, the Torah, and the land of Israel. The message is clear. Even in the depths of despair, we must be active to ensure our legacy. Torah Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael are our inheritance, and they are our legacy. It is this message that has been the driving force behind Bnei Akiva for generations. A few weeks ago, I had the honor of speaking with Sarah Jane Glass. Sarah Jane is an alumna of Bnei Akiva UK, who had her start as a madricha and then rosh of her sviva in Willesden. She is now the Mazkira secretary of Kibbutz Alumim, a community located 2 kilometers from the Gaza border. Kibbutz Alumim was set up by pioneering members of Bnei Akiva in 1966, and in the early 70s and 80s, groups of Bnei Akiva Chavirim from the UK made aliyah directly to the kibbutz. We discussed the bravery of the incredible kibbutz members on October 7th when terrorists broke in. 22 foreign workers were brutally murdered, 2 hostages were taken, 5 IDF soldiers were killed, and 6 members of the kibbutz were wounded. But the bravery and determination of those on the kibbutz prevented Hamas from infiltrating further. In the words of former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, the battle of heroism in Kibbutz Alumim will be recorded in the annals of the people of Israel, alongside the battle of Mishmar HaEmek in the Independence War and the battle at Givat HaTach Moshet, where good people showed supreme bravery. Where did the people of Kibbutz Alumim get their bravery and their spirit? In many cases, from the shul halls, the Shabbatonim, and the machanot of Bnei Akiva UK, places where they learned action, where they learned to leave a morasha. Just like the heroes of Kibbutz Alumim, we refuse to despair. Our identity as Jews is not defined by persecution, suffering, or anti-Semitism, but is based on a connection to a rich heritage and an active Judaism full of life, meaning, and truth. We carry on and we fight evil, not because we don't have a choice, but because we believe in our Torah, in our morasha. In Bnei Akiva, our role is very simple. We are educators. We educate ourselves, our chanachim, and our communities towards a better tomorrow. And Bnei Akiva knows that Jewish education that creating young people with a strong and proud identity is how we will defeat those who try to destroy us. It is this enduring and confident, but not arrogant identity that will ensure that Yisrael will win every single time. There is no price on knowing who you are, or knowing that you are supporting good, and on knowing what you believe in. In an age of constant misinformation, damaging social media influence, and horrific struggles on university campuses, nothing is more powerful than the voice of our youth. They know who they are, and they stand up for what they believe in. And this is the education that Bnei Akiva offers. It does not stop now. We say in Bnei Akiva, we are a movement and we must move. This summer, over 150 ideological young people are dedicating 3 weeks to our mission of education. As our madruchim and madruchot, they will lead over 550 chanachim across 7 different summer camps. Despite experiencing an incredibly traumatic start to their gap year, around 25 chaverim from Shevet Sinai have taken the courageous decision to stay in Israel next year. This would be a record-breaking number in any year, but in this year, with all that they have lived through in Israel, for a quarter of a whole shevet of Bnei Akiva to stay on in Israel is nothing short of miraculous. I am so proud of our chaverim making aliyah and preparing to join the IDF or contributing through Shirat Leumi. In just under 3 weeks, 20 Bogrim will join a week-long solidarity trip in Israel, volunteering and visiting affected communities and families in the south of Israel, including Kibbutz Alumim. Like many kibbutzim in the south, Alumim was devastated on October 7th. On October the 8th, the entire kibbutz was evacuated to hotels in Netanya. Families with children are hoping to return home by July. Return to kibbutzim down south is essential, not only for the revival of Israel's economy, but in protecting her borders. Once again, Bnei Akiva UK is responding with action. We are launching a direct partnership with Kibbutz Alumim to provide desperately needed support and practical help in order to rebuild. Next Monday, the 20th of May at 7 p.m, we will be holding a community briefing open to everyone, where we will be joined by members of the kibbutz who will tell us exactly what is needed for families of Kibbutz Alumim to be able to safely return home, and what we can do to make it happen. Bnei Akiva, it does not stop there. We have been active and we have incredible things planned. But what makes me most proud is not what we have done and not even what is coming up. What makes me most proud is the knowledge that I am part of an active movement. I call on everyone here this evening, parents, grandparents, community leaders, every single person to join our action. Start with Kibbutz Alumim and join Bnei Akiva UK in our mission, in our love for Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, and Torat Yisrael, and be part of the movement that takes our inheritance and actively turns it into our legacy, our own Morasha.